just for book la ko lui video share de actually live na right
Alu tin chuko pal ko tiawen ken ngogam Malu tin chuko pal tiawen ken ngogam Bang re jasan tu moni ko karawe ten man ngorot ran kage man man chigoro benya tin wana wa yin chade kon beti ko dit ka bay ko no no ban we ko pin ko tingi undu na kare malu ta jelani malu ta kare malu ta jelani tin kaya ko bam ko nam ga gut ko ran ka tare dio ni ta ga jare jo ta ga ta jel ni malu na wo kan ko bidong man ta ga jare jo ta ga ta jel mut ni ran na wo kan ko bidong ta ga jare jo ta ga ta jel yang jam tu ka jale ya kan jo chara kalau yang jam tu ka jale ya jam jo chara kalau majung dandam semua ko jo ko dengan yo juli majung majung ko long nyong kalawir semua jo ko yo lawir kini suli malu long men Walawiro matulogolojal Mayung dedawo matulogolower
kai dai lag ko lui video shi jam da book all right away go
Abdul
Let us go a minute of silence. Looking Abuna, the member of parliament. Let us go a minute of silence. And the Jillian call if you Khartoum.
Okay.
Only good thing 1 minute there.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. In Chile, Banabiel. Yek Damantin, moment of silence. Well, quite one in Jal, but quite the corn for down 2 weeks when you again if I die. First of all, I want to say good morning. Good morning, Africa. Good evening or good afternoon, Australia. And I think it is good night here in North America.
1 a.m.
We apologize for the inconvenience because we are starting the program very late here in North America. But I think this is a good time for those who are residing in Africa and Australia. I think it will be very convenient for you to be part of this program. And it is very important for our people in Africa to be part of this program. That is what is significant at this particular point. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help us share the video, and then we will go straight to our program. Banya Biel na de greeting baglo ko Bany Wilson baglo wa ye ko yena ne jazz ba program ba lo introduce tekale
ay tueng taban ko ke bakamot ko ke dai fi Junub Sudan. Good morning, sabah khair, chak pa pial ja ko ta Australia ko ke touch fi North America tena. First of all, I would like to greet all of you, the viewers of Jing Padang Media worldwide. Good morning in Africa, South Sudan, Sudan, and all East African countries. Good morning to the viewers of Jing Padang, and welcome. This is a very important topic that we're going to be discussing. These are the Jing Padang leaders and the media advocates that are gathering to host a very, very important discussion. So thank you.
Bany Wilson.
Okay, thank you, Benjamin and Jim Billy Lux. First of all, I will greet the audience, those who are watching the show. Please share the show. And I know it's too late in our time here, but we will do our best as we promise. I think you guys see the topic running on the screen. Topic is about protesting that has been going on. That's why we are here tonight to try to clarify some of the issue, but not us here. We are going to talk with somebody on the ground. We will call him maybe through phone, and you guys are going to hear from him directly if the phone went. So again, I will stop here. I will give it back to Billy Luke, and bear with us. We are going to do the phone call after Billy Luke, and then we'll see if the phone went through. Then we will give that person to speak, because our concern here as the Padang leadership in North America is there are a lot of political rhetoric that we want to correct them. We know that we have so many rebels online who want to take advantage of this Meluth protest and to call it as their own regime change. But that is not the goal that we are. The people on the ground in Meluth, they are demanding different things, social service, and including the oil pollution. So again, I will stop here. Bill, look, you can take it from there. Then we can try somebody from Sudan to call him. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, President Wilson and President Abiel Kon, for that introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I will proceed with the program. The program of today is about two topics. Number one, we are here tonight to present to you the main reason why our people in Meluth, Palosh, took back to the street to demonstrate peacefully. So we will be here to lay out the reason for the popular protest that is ongoing in Meluth. I believe it is obvious to all of us as citizens of Jiang Padang in particular, and to Junubina as a whole. So we are not surprised why they are protesting, but we will use our media platform to make sure we continue to update the general public as to why our general public is back to the street to demonstrate for their demand. So we will be laying out the demand of our people. There is nothing new. We are aware of that. This is the second round of the popular protest that is now taking place in Meluth County. The second to that, we will also be examining, exploring, and analyzing the political aspect or the political prospect of it, because we have seen in the media in the recent days that the opposition advocacy media are actually taking advantage of the situation of Meluth popular protests, and they are actually trying to politicize the case and make it as a cause of the revolutionary uprising against the government. So we would like to actually making sure on this particular program that we have to make sure we distinguish between our people protest and that of the opposition. So we are actually concerned about that as people of Jiang Padang, and that is why we are actually coming live so that we can actually clarify the position of our people as Jiang Padang media, because this is actually becoming a concern. The government of South Sudan is watching this very carefully. Unfortunately, the opposition are attempting by any means necessary to politicize and try to connect it to the revolutionary cause. That is very unfortunate, and we will also want to caution our leaders of the popular protest in Meluth not to be carried away too much by the opposition media advocacy. However, ladies and gentlemen, we are also grateful in another way. We are grateful to this opposition media, even though they are attempting to politicize it. They should actually sympathize and explain the reason as to why our people are actually protesting in Meluth. That is something we can appreciate. However, we do not want the politicization of these popular protests. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will be explaining this program in two aspects. So, one aspect of it, we will explain to you the justification of the popular protest. That means we will lay out the demand of our protesters. And then second to that, we will also be able to revisit the previous protests. And this is the response to the previous protests that took place last year. All of you are aware of that. I hope it is very clear for those of you who just tune in. In most of these programs, we will be using English. And then after that, I forgot to mention that we are also going to have our special guest that we are going to invite it from South Sudan. We are not sure whether we will be able to reach him or not, but we will try our best to make sure we bring him live so that he can actually update us about the ongoing protests in Meluth on the ground. So we are looking forward to do that in few minutes. So back to you, Wilson, ku jaba Biel, na de kabag Martin. Otherwise, kabaloy ke document the any demand ba Kwenbi, Bijunubin big thing, and then Badak Kayoke respond to protest last year because the government of South Sudan actually failed to implement or to fulfill the promises that they made to the oil producing area or to Jiang Padang in particular, who are predominantly living in the oil producing area, because they are the most constituencies who are actually affected by the oil pollution or environmental degradation. So our people are actually complaining that the government of South Sudan have actually violated the memorandum of understanding. Had been violated. It has never been fulfilled to the expectation of our people, and that is why our people took back to the street so that they can actually demand the practical implementation of those concerns that were signed on the political communique or the communique that was signed last year following that protest. So that's why our people go back to the street this week so that they can actually pressure the government of South Sudan, the shareholders and the oil operating companies, so that they have to make sure they must implement those promises that they made last year. So we are actually demanding the fulfillment of the demand that were actually granted and signed into the memorandum of understanding between the government and the oil producing communities. So this is our collective demand as people of the oil producing areas. And so we are also, let us not forget to mention the fact that we have to give our gratitude, appreciation, and absolute solidarity with the people of Meluth in particular, because they represent the symbol of a real change that needs to be done to the people who are actually living in the oil producing state, because they are extremely critically affected by the oil pollution. So we are very, very grateful and appreciative of the people of Meluth for always risking their life, and making sure that South Sudan is a safe place for all of us, because the air we breathe in, the water we drink, the food we eat is absolutely contaminated. And so what people of Meluth are doing in laying out their life out there, putting their life in risky way, is something we all have to be supportive, something we have to be very appreciative and grateful for as people of South Sudan in general. Because as I said in my previous show, and we continue to say it as people of Jiang Padang, that this is not only an issue of Jiang Padang or people who live around the oil producing area. This is a matter of national security threat. It threatens the national security as a whole. Why? Because the entire atmosphere of South Sudan is likely polluted. The water source is polluted. The soil is polluted. If all these elements of South Sudan is actually being contaminated or polluted, there is a chance everybody is likely to be affected by that chemical hazard in the area. And not only will it affect the national security of South Sudan, it will also affect the security of the region, including the northern Sudan as well as the Egypt, because they rely heavily on the Nile water. So the Nile water is likely to be is completely contaminated, as we know. Only that people don't know how far the contamination of the oil pollution have gone so far, because we have no toxicology on the ground to test the sample of the atmosphere or the air in South Sudan, so they can actually determine whether South Sudan entire atmosphere is safe from the oil pollution, whether the water source is safe from the pollution, whether the soil which we plant our food is actually safe. These are the critical element of our life sustainability. So if we allow this to be affected, that's why we consider it a national security threat. And I believe the government of South Sudan must come to terms that this issue of the oil pollution is not just about people who live in the oil producing state. This is a matter of national security threat. This is a matter of regional security threat as well, because everybody rely on the Nile water. Everybody rely on the healthy or fresh air. We need to breathe in a fresh air so that our people have to stay healthy. We need to eat a healthy food so that our people do not get ill. And we need to drink a clean water that is not contaminated. That is why we consider this a national security threat. And government of South Sudan must understand this very clearly, as well as the region. That's why we, the Jiang Padang, must lead this campaign to make sure we create awareness in the region, so the region can be part of the solution to the oil pollution or oil contamination in the oil producing area in South Sudan. If the government of South Sudan is not taking the responsibility, then we, the communities who are actually affected by the oil pollution, we should be able to put that pressure as well by launching our independent advocacy, so that the regional government have to be part of this campaign. Finally, I would like to comment that our government of South Sudan must understand very clearly that Jiang Padang, in particular, are predominantly loyal and supportive citizens that stand behind the government of South Sudan. I think the government is aware of this. They know this very well, that our people have nothing to do with any opposition or rebel group in South Sudan. They are predominantly government supported, and I think everybody is aware of it. And that's why you see our opposition advocate or activists on social media are actually trying to take advantage of the situation on the ground in the areas of Jing Fadang, so that they can use it for their political uprising by manipulating our people. So tonight, we would like to differentiate between the opposition and the people of Jing Fadang. We are actually doing this in our own unique way, like it was done last year. Our people launched a revolutionary protest because they are sick and tired of the oil pollution, because our people are dying. Our mothers, our sisters are actually giving birth to deformed babies. Our animals are dying. All the ecological system is actually being affected in the oil producing area. And there is no difference between the death caused by the oil pollution and the death that you are going to threaten our people with a live bullet. It doesn't make any difference. So that's why our people have no choice but to go back to the street and must demand that the government must do something. The government and the oil operating companies and the shareholders, they must act. This is a clear demand, and we are not going to be shy. We are not going to be intimidated or coaxed by anyone. However, the government must understand that our people have nothing to do with the rebel, have nothing to do with the opposition. They are blatantly demanding it very clearly that something must be done. Otherwise, our people are dying, and this is a matter of death or survival. So I think we should not shy away from doing this, despite the fact that we are government supported. And this message must go straight to His Excellency, the President of South Sudan, Salva Kiir Mayardit, must understand something needs to be done. Even we, Jing Fadang communities in diaspora, we must also prepare ourselves to launch a legal litigation against the government of South Sudan should they fail to implement this demand of our people on the ground in South Sudan. We have to hire an international lawyer. We can do that by raising funds so that we can actually launch an international case against the oil operating company. And there is a chance this company can be sanctioned economically. Some of you remember back in the day what happened to the Talisman company when they pollute the environment, when they fail to comply with the environmental regulation policy and law governing the environmental conservation in South Sudan, or Sudan by the time. That is why Talisman company was sued by the oil operating company, particularly the Ruin. That is why the Talisman company withdrew from South Sudan as a result of avoiding the billion dollar lawsuit that was made against them. So this was actually one of the cases that I want to cite. And the reason why the Talisman company withdrew from South Sudan, or from the Sudan by the time, was because they were divided by the capital America, or North America here, to save their money. Otherwise, they would have lost billions of dollars. That is a possibility. Jing Fadang can actually do the same thing. But we are trying to give our government time so that they can do something. So this is just, we have so many options on the table at Jing Fadang. But being a loyal supporters of the government of South Sudan, we are trying to give our people of South Sudan a option, an opportunity to make sure they make the right decision as per the best interest. Because we understand our people rely heavily on the oil, because oil is the only main source of generating income or revenue for South Sudan. So we don't want to stop South Sudan. There is a chance international community can sanction these oil operating companies, and they can shut down the flow of the oil. Is this an option that South Sudan wants? You South Sudanese should be concerned. Even the soldiers who are now deployed in Meluth area or around the oil producing area, people who are working in Paloj, you should be concerned yourself about your own health, because you are drinking from the very same water that is contaminated. You are eating the food from the soil that is contaminated. You are breathing the same air that is also contaminated. So everybody should be concerned. So we don't want to see our national armed force to arm our protesters. These are peaceful protesters, and they must be allowed to protest peacefully. They must make sure they shut down everything until the oil operating company, the shareholders, and the government of South Sudan must comply with their demand. Thank you very much. I think I have took too much time. I will yield back to you, Abiel, and Ben Wilson. And they back you by Martin, the bank Martin. Otherwise, a karang na chaloy in chanyonam, who yen whatever talking. Now we be quen be chan be lodge you be nim, a can on to buy late, kakawan to katan, you run chilo, a can.
Abuke Jaquin after Chora
Queen can catch and pindai, work a late, who can look like a Meluth Kadawa the event. So thank you very much.
Okay, Ben Wilson, can I say some few words for?
Okay, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning in South Sudan, good evening wherever you are, good night here in North America. As the Jing Padang leaders in diaspora, we have taken this responsibility to advocate for the voice of our people. Since we decided to establish this media outlet, was meant purposely to talk about the issues that affecting the areas of Jing Padang, and also the matter that are concerning Jing Padang. And the most in our table today is the issue of the current peaceful demonstration that is taking place in Meluth. I want to assure our people in Meluth, the youth, the elders, the mothers, those who have taken to the street, that the Jing Padang leaders in diaspora and the hosts of the media show, they are 100% behind you. We are 100% behind you because what took you to the street is the most important element in society. You went to the street to demand the right services that should be provided to you.
Okay.
You went to the street to ask for the better services. You went to the street so that the government of South Sudan can listen to you. The government of South Sudan can implement the memorandum of understanding that was signed last year in August. You did not go to the street to demonstrate against the government of South Sudan. This is a message that needs to be very clear. And you have heard from Brother Billy Luke outlining the issue that took you to the street. And this matter of the oil pollution is a concern of national security. It's not only the concern for those who are actually in Meluth, it's a concern for anybody in South Sudan. Because we have seen the catastrophe that was caused by the oil pollution. We have seen the lack of services in the area of oil-producing counties like Meluth and the surrounding counties in Upper Nile State. There's no proper road. There's no good hospital. There's no school for your children. There's no better drinking water. There's no good living condition. These are the basic needs for the citizen to have that the government should provide. You know, when the SPLM took up arms and went for the revolution, it took up arms so that they can better the life of their people. And if you've been following the few video clips by the late Dr. John Garang, in which actually, winding down to the signing of the CPA, Dr. Garang actually was indicating his officers that the SPLM that actually fought for the independence of South Sudan, the independence alone cannot guarantee the safety, cannot guarantee the better service to the people unless you provide for them. Now, down the road, later on, South Sudan became independent. And the oil, drilling started in 1997. Well, we cannot blame the oil Sudan because we know what hold them back, that they were not able to provide a better services to the people of South Sudan. But after we gain independence, after South Sudan gain independence, there should not be need for people of Meluth or oil producing areas in that matter to continue to live in an old age where there's no school, where there's no hospital, where there's no roads, where there's no better clinic, where there's no actually, a better way of life. When I went to South Sudan, I was actually shocked to see that there's electricity that actually lighting all the way in the forest, but it's not able to be connected to the houses of the local civilians. This alone is what took you to the street in Meluth, and that's why we, the Jing Padang here, will continue to support this peaceful demonstration. My message to the anti-government, those who have been calling for the regime change: the peaceful protest in Meluth cannot be used as a token for you to advance your call for changing the government of President Kiir the way you want it. The peaceful protest cannot be used as a political tools. These people in Meluth, they are peacefully protesting. They just decided to sit down, asking for the government to provide a better service for them. And this is why we came out tonight, so that the government of South Sudan, the South Sudanese that will listen to us, that we are behind our people. They are just demanding a services that can be given to them. They are demanding a good environment for the cattle. They are demanding that the kid can go to school. There's nothing much than that the citizen can ask. So do not take them wrong. Do not categorize them as anti-government. They have nothing to do with anti-government. They, in fact, defend and protected these oil facilities in 2013 war. Many of their sons actually took up arms to defend that oil facilities, because they know it is the only mean that the government of South Sudan or the people of South Sudan shall defend on it. My message to the President Kiir and actually the government of South Sudan is this: if President Kiir asks what they call the policy that oil for development, why don't you have oil for development for people in Meluth? Why don't you actually construct the tarmac road from Meluth to Rang, from Rang to Malakal, all the way to Upper Nile? Why don't you use oil policy to build a good hospital for people in Meluth? Why don't you use oil policy for development so that you can build a better school for people in Meluth? We have seen the level of corruption in South Sudan, where actually the 3% that were awarded to the oil producing area are not going to the right people. They are not actually reaching to the demand of the people of South Sudan. And therefore, if the 3% are not going, I ask the government of South Sudan to also use oil for development, to be actually start building hospital in Meluth, building a better road, connect those Payam to main, oil producing facilities. Let our people live in a good life so that they cannot be dying. Now we have a kid that are born deformed. The mother that actually born premature babies. This is the cause of the oil pollution. And when they took the street, they never alter that we don't want the government of President Kiir, but we want the government of President Kiir to provide a better services for them. This message should reach the desk. And it's good that they should sit until the national government send a delegation to Meluth and actually revisit the MO, the Memorandum of Understanding that was signed in August 2020. So my fellow South Sudanese, as I said earlier, Padang, Jiang, are 99.9% standing behind the government of South Sudan. They protected this government during the crisis. They will continue to support this government because we want the peaceful transfer of power in the Republic of South Sudan. We want people of South Sudan to be given a chance to vote, whether they will vote for the SPLM or to other party that will actually provide good ideas that will convene the people of South Sudan. If SPLM cannot provide services, then the people of South Sudan will decide which government they may want. It's been a long road since we became independent. Let us not use as that we are in war, we cannot actually construct hospital. That we are in war, we cannot have a good road. That we are in war, we cannot provide services. While we are in war and the oil continue to be drilled. We are in war and the oil continue to be drilled, continue to be sold, and the government of South Sudan continue to defend on that oil. So let the people of Meluth have a better services. We will be revisiting the memorandum of understanding and see what went wrong between the government of South Sudan and the stakeholders, why they failed to implement those memorandum of understanding. And I urge my people in Meluth continue to be strong. You are a peaceful demonstrator. It is allowed in the Constitution of South Sudan to peacefully protest, to peacefully ask your government that I need a better services. This is your right, and your right cannot be given to you, but you have to ask for that right so that the government can know. And there's a history that Meluth is not just only start going to protest today, but they start going to protest way in 2011. I mean in 2012 or in 1990, before the independence of South Sudan. When Sudan is one Sudan, they actually went to the street asking for their son to be employed, asking for the people of Meluth to be given a better services, and that's why we are with them tonight, and that's why we are supporting them. And we are trying to tell people of South Sudan and the anti-peace element, please do not use our people as the way of advancing your political rhetoric that they should turn against the government. The people of Padang will never turn their back against the government of President Kiir, because we believe that the only way to change this government is through a peaceful democratic process that is allowed international law. That you vote, one man, and when the time comes, then the people of Padang will proudly cast their vote for the right person that they see, or the right party that will lead them to the next tenure. Thank you very much for those who are listening and those who actually join us this evening. We take a late and because it Ben Wilson Lwal. Good job, really look.
I will let you go ahead, Benyabiel. Try to call the guy on the ground so we can hear from him directly. After
Okay.
he's done, then we can elaborate more. Now I will hold my talk. So let's try the guy if the phone is going to come. This person is coming. If he's going to answer the phone, he is going to speak in Arabic, so a lot of South Sudanese will hear the viewpoint or the reason why people are protesting on the ground. So, since we are waiting for his call, bear with us, and you can listen to somebody on the ground directly in Meluth County. He's one of the people who were put in jail. There were 6 of them. I think there were 2 or 3 chief were among the people who were arrested, and then the leaders of the protest. So this guy is going to come. If he answered the phone, he can speak to the South Sudanese directly. Then we can liberate more. We are waiting for his phone to be answered. We will put him on his speaker. Unfortunately, that's why they are complaining. Where there is oil, there is no network. There is no electricity. But to be honest, those of you who does not know the area, if you go to Paloj and Meluth at night, you may think it is America. There is a light everywhere. In the bushes, follow follow the pools. I mean, what they call it. Follow the oil wells. Yeah, because there are more than 170 wells in that area. And you can see the light is lighting 24/7 because with no electricity, there is no way you can pump the oil, and there is no way you can count the oil. So there is really electricity, but the citizens are not benefit of that. There is a network in the OPC, which is the companies, the compound that they call it operation-based compounds. They have internet inside those area, inside the compounds, but the citizens are not benefit. No road, to be honest with you. And then within the international law or international standard, where there is oil, the first thing is the road. They call all-weather road. All-weather road mean whether there is rain or there is snow, but no snow in Africa. If there is a flood, the oil can still. Okay. Yo.
Banya biel de kinin yok to da wi bitan yala fay. Let it be very clear.
Angor ka yuba yub.
Okay.
E yene ke jam?
No, I'm going to ring a kin answer.
Okay. Yen kitina ba Martin banya biel ja bany Wilton. Wal ko tit kamanda. Ako bung mata jabug labi kaman. That ukuma bata jinu Sudan ko bi del deri jinu. Koy kwon ke loy protest. Loy ki peacefully. Loy ki do achin property lui ke vandalize. So achin justification whatsoever. Achan bi alule ye na sultan dam cake ko bangi chabe adam cake, it can actually make sense. So we will also use the media to condemn our government for arresting our paramountship and the youth leaders because they are not protesting violently, they are not vandalizing the property, they are not targeting anyone. They are simply protesting peacefully. There is no string attached to it. Our people have no association with any opposition or rebel group. As you have learned from last year's protests, they have been peaceful, and that's why they were able to reach the memorandum of understanding between the government and the youth who protest last year. So I don't think this protest is going to be different from the previous protests. So they are government supporters, and they should not be harmed in any way. And they should not be arrested and detained for no reasonable cause whatsoever, because they are not violent against anyone.
Those people, they were arrested by the commissioner of Meluth, and I think they are people are talking about that to release them immediately without no question. So again, we will highlight all these issues later regarding somebody like commissioner should have to know that these people are not violent. They are just protesting, peaceful protesting. So the rest of the South Sudanese who, I don't know who is this guy called Anyar Malong Majok. I don't know, my brother. Your writing is really is not going to help us. You've been writing the statement that are not going to be good for us. I don't know where are you from. If you are here in Western world or you are in the ground, I don't know. But please respect. We are not here not because we cannot take action. We are not just talking. We can talk and action can be taken. So there is no need whether you are rebel or the government supporter. I don't know. So for you to say that don't talk, I mean, just talk with no action. I don't know. You may be rebel because what kind of action you want us to take? To take the gun and rebel against the government? That's what you want people of Malu to do?
And by the way, let me add some comment to that guy. I think I just put up his comment out there. My brother Anyarma Luong Majuk, you should understand our people have already taken action. And the action that you were expecting from our people is why they took to the street last year, and their demands were met in agreement. And that's why they are coming back to the street so that they violated
and here the main menu option.
Community.
Almost 90 decades.
Yen ke tawin banya biel ku jaban Wilton jamda abadiel ko je chane ni ke titi ni bu ban nyon nam ko lakin bade in the afternoon ku kan nim lawle ala ba ngor ko la twin ku yen mbidu ni ni yan mriel la lo bade ku la benele ke tek den ke na bi woreke na bi ke jo ben ko en bi wona the men unte wil ko ke ku jela ko on tiro lo lazi document wan ju ka sign lazi ke jo ben nyog nyodi ago no ka yibe pet
la na cho gam da
and you line mainly ke bu le ko jinu opposition
na da ran ngi da fu de be yo wala
okay, let me try telephone ko kitten.
Mem lo taxi de no jabe tem.
Okay.
Achi la through
Ela lakini kira ngirnial rana dil mai ke telephone.
Bera nang pe nyeki le bityok elom is there any other
we are going to check another phone here, so
okay. Yen we back ga mute ku wal kala ka jam.
Yes, yeah. Kai ka jiba na ndira na jiba yop wala.
Now let me give you another phone here.
Okay, just text it there.
Denga ba Martin we ko kon ga jing padang dai ko yunte tiok ban lom wone ban Maluth wone ne county commissioner ku taw ki yera ne siezi bita Maluth county ten taw ki yera ne jing padang ku yera loyi ki ya genis protesters kon ga ke ga yok yin ala bugin loy la video we can call you out, but at this point in book take let this be a warning. Tel ko padang wone lo ka gur ko kon te ka lu protest e lo ka gur karo na be ku ben next time login ting no de wadu ne ko lu again is a protesters kon ke taw chanam ka yokin bi wadu bi yok in bu condemn, we will call you out in bu no mu ke political outcast de chin ka jo ko kun e ke ne chang ni jingi ke choran yi tiai in mi nom gi ya tiai in chi le bi ya ban ku bebe tiai ko ku kena chi le bro lo ye ka yu ko lo ko ke le na obi ko cha dan fa dang dai wo ko wona ro chol si edin ani ngero lo ke yiran ko ku mun ko cha de fa dang
abiel tal punto ga che to we krang du check.
Okay, cha tinga.
Yeah, go ahead, Billy.
Wa waden ke lwel wo ko ko ngi jing fa dang dai der nu ko wone ko gor ko tin ko wonte ke go bele ke tiai bi wela lwel ko go wala ke to wala made ko kumo yen nyara nu people have to be subdued in such a violent way wala ba ko jala lo branded la ki mane ko le yig wrong name ki mane rano ane jam le yen ke insurgent etemini hiran be nyogo tan na la ke ga lwel ke wel ke a wuj buke ga lo identify ke yinga kwa kerin kwa ke yin ke kwa buke benek fu ke ko je jam de kwa yin ke ku tok let us all stand in absolute solidarity with our people because cái lôi cái justifiable cái quả to kỳ phiếu cái quả to kỳ dùng cái quý cái quả to kỳ chăm cái chỗ chăm đến thế cái pur cho nên pin na ne chum tin ci lu samam yom na na ku wi ci lu samam yi wona ka dek ci lu samam ken ke tuwa ken ya jaman nga ka le video jam gule ke lo ka kon ke to chanam ke krai iran yindi ce ga yene kirmi yari de ci dede aka ko ku ka be action miteke we ko unte ko oil operating company we shareholder ko shareholder ka to ko mi ko padang bi tin yin man padang wi oil field era ti jinin yourself wa ekenika yoke wata na be kula ben ke gem bi gwe don ke le yene chuko da yo ping ko yo ka tin ko ku gara raj ko je ko la gur ko da de o ke lekin wa go ka ngwan wari chen na ngora ngi chedi ga yokin book jod la video including yin ban ni Meluth when a county commissioner is supposed to call you get chabdu nga ga tawin ki bande ra na cheti ay ko ken ni ke na ke ken na gin wo ke geto nke ya leadership ke wo chakale banyal.
Thank you. Abiel Morgo Yupaberanda Ngatin. Kilo Irodin Billy, look, it is not a first time. These people of Meluth, they are not a coward. They know what they're doing. They even protest during brutal regime of Hassan Omar al-Bashir. In 2006, there was a big protest where governor of Apernal called Galwagden was threatening people to shoot people of Meluth, but they did not back up because this is the right.
Oh, tag them barrel. Okay, the lawyer mute.
Okay. So to be honest with those of you guys, it is not a first time. I think this will be the third or post-protesting. They protest during the Bashir time because of the same things. And they were told that something will be done. Never happened. 2012, they came out. Nothing happened. And then 2020, August of last year, the same thing. Because since the oil was operated, it is 1997 up to now, it is about 24 years. So everything has been contaminated. People just live there. Our people now in that area, every day they go to Khartoum, people don't come back. They went for their own treatment. But how people who have a oil that can suffering and going back to Khartoum to go for treatment, a lot of them, they never come back, including my own family members. One of my nephew died because of lack of blood 2 years ago. And then again, another my cousin died last year. Very simple thing. And I believe even the recent death of Honorable Aware, he went to Khartoum. He's the MP, by the way, the recent guy who just we saw today that he just passed away. He's a member of the Apernal Parliament representing Meluth. So we are facing a lot of challenge regarding all these oil issues. And I believe our people are already being contaminated. People are dying 24/7, and we have no another choice. To go to Juba is only to take an airplane to go to Juba, and then leave alone Kenya or Uganda. Our people who are far north of South Sudan or close to the North Sudan, they have no access to go to the other part of the southern region. This is one of the big problems that we need our government to do something. Government cannot make it worse to make a road from Juba to Barkazal, from Nimli to Juba, and then from Bor from Juba to Bor. And there is no road from Rang to Paluch where there is oil. And from Paloi to Malakal, there is no road. These are all this mud road. And we will show you tomorrow all these pictures of the road that are being dumped where there is oil. And this is the weakness of the government. Government should have to pressure the company. It's nothing to do. It's just government to give a pressure on the company because it is a business. When it is business, you don't do what I want. I want you to do. Then you go and I find another customer. So it is a business. Let government of South Sudan know that if somebody is your customer, you have a legal right to tell the customer, I don't want this one.
Ban Wilson and Jira na yoga and Jita na yoga.
Okay. Jatawi speaker. Wabu abajalu direct.
I want to go to Queen the one in top is speaker, line worked off young Padang media, but Naman Chukwan Queen Gabel, Imajo Jambara Bishan, because big ping, Kalewe Pishawara, Kuka bag leg, Quite a Jin of Sudan, Kujakumara Jin of Sudan, and Mob Matalab Dun in Bagam Pursa, Kubajam.
Ay gable bin jam ben karang ton ben dipingen.
Ton
يعني طبعا الشعب بتاع ملوك وابناء ملوك بالتحديد.
Ay pungu.
نحن جزء من الجنوبيين وقاعدين من موقع واحد من مواقع جنوب السودان. عندنا حق حقيقة أن نستمتع بالحياة. نستمتع بالجنوبيين الموجودين في واحد من الأراضي بتاع الجنوب. التظاهر الأخير حصل التظاهر الجنوبيين وصفوه إنه الأبناء الفدان الموجودين في مناطق بتاع المنوط والراوي بتاعدي وصفوهم إنه خيارات محدودة تجاه حكومة. يعني ما عندنا مشكلة مع حكومة. ما عندنا مشكلة مع أشخاص.
Let me ask the audience. We na piango work da kade lo sum up the piango ran. The audience who are watching. Do the sum up if you are listening to him.
محددة من طريق خدمات أساسية ومشروع للمواطن في المنطقة المنتجة. فيبدأ المواطن لما يطالب محتاج خدمات أساسية، محتاج موية، محتاج كهرباء، محتاج صحة، محتاج تعليم، محتاج خدمات. المفروض الحكومة ممكن يخدم المواطن بالخدمات دي. انت المواطن لما يحتاج خدمات دي المواطن يعني ما يعني المواطن ده يتمرد. في الجنوب معروف يا اخي. الجنوب ده ما عنده علاقه بالمظاهرات السلميه. تجاه حاجه في الجنوب انت بتشيل سلاح. الثقافه لازم يوصل له. الثقافه حقيقيه كل انسان في الجنوب السوداني مشكله. المناطق ذات مناطق البترول كله ذات مناطق فدان. ترى البترول ذات مناطق فدان. يوم من الايام ما في اي واحد من الناس فدان ممكن يوصل لمحل يا اخي يقولوا البترول اللي حميناه. عملنا حمايه من 2013 لحد تاريخ النهايه. بتورنا المحترمين الوضع. المحترمين ولا واحد حقهم يحافظوا الحقوق. لكننا قاعدين نطالبوا بالخدمات. والظاهر من كل المناطق مثلا البترول الموجوده مناطق فدان يعني ما في خدمات ماشيه بالطريقه اللي نحسن له. الليله الثانيه ماشي يبدا من اكثر الوضع. الثمن ما يبدا في جوبا. الشوارع ماشي يعني يعني السبب الشوارع ما تبدا من داخل الكبرى على الجبا الليله تنطلق ما دام من بور تنطلق بعد من نقل الجبا تنطلق بدا من جبا لكمالا لأن الفكر يا أخي استفزاز حقيقي للمواطن اللي قاعد يمارس المنتجة. بمعنى شنو؟ بمعنى يا أخي نحن لما نطالب كان نطالب ننسى حقيقة. تداول بدانا بنظاهر لأنه نحن نستحق يخدمونا حكومة لازم يخدم. طبعا قاعدين مناطق المنتجة. نحن قاعدين مناطق المنتجة إننا حق بالسور صباح لنا يدونا 3% يثبت لنا بشكل واضح. يثبت لنا لأننا محتاجين يكون واضح. السور صباح لنا إننا 3% لكل المنتج يدونا. طيب لا في البداية مطالبات كانوا مطالبات في زمن بكر جدا جدا من زمن السودان الموحد. طالبنا زمان نطالب إنه لازم يخدمونا من قبل 17 سنة على تاريخ الليلة. بدأنا مطالبات لأننا واقعيين. وكان ما بيسمع إن احنا نسكت وبتقول قال فوق كأننا نحن يكون مواطن قاعد كأننا قاعد يتحمس. يقول ايه؟ لكل الجنوبيين البداية يا أخي لما أنا طالب والظاهر يتم ترجمة تقول يا أخي مواطن قاعد في البترول قاعد يتمرد. كل التغيير منه. كل الجنوبيين الأمنية اللي الحكومة ما يستطيع. كل الجنوبيين قاعدين يا أخي يكون في استغلال حقيقي لأن يا أخي تزعل وتشيل سلاح وتشيل شعارات بذات. تنسى الفكير تنميش. لأن الليلة تهميش في وجود حكومة في نفس الوقت أنا شعب بعيد مع حكومة ذاتها. أنا شعب معايدين الحكومة. ورسالة أقول للجنوبيين كله. رسالة أقول للجنوبيين إنه نحن صوتنا للانفصال. صوتنا للانتخابات وعملنا تغيير المسير كلنا بتاع كل الجنوبيين. طيب حتى التغيير في جنوب السودان لنا فهمنا وقلنا زي الجنوبيين ماتوا انتخابات. إننا أهلنا فقدناهم، إننا أبواتنا فقدناهم، إننا أخواننا فقدناهم، إننا أمهاتنا فقدناهم، إننا أطفالنا فقدناهم. يعني أنا ما جينا لقينا نسيبنا كانوا ضيوف جو بعد تغيير المسير في جنوب السودان. منذ بداية جنوب السودان حتى الحركات المسلحة اللي بدأ في جنوب السودان يعني كل جزء منه. كلامنا عن يوان ونيتين كل الحركات كنا ساهمنا يا أخي الجنوب السودان يكون دولة. طيب ولنا خشينا وساهمنا في الحركات التحرر على مستوى جنوب السودان من أجل الظلم والتهميش. نبدأ نأتي الجنوب نكون أفضل مننا. نأتي الجنوب بخيره المواطن اللي يسمع الجنوب ما يستهلك الخدمات. طبعا ده لازم نتفهم منه ان احنا جزء حقيقي من الحياه. لان نطالب حقوقنا. خلينا خدمات. خلينا الخدمات اللي توفر للمواطن اللي قاعد في المناطق البترول. فيبقى لما انا نعتب انه محتاج خدمات ده يعني ما يتم استغلال التظاهر بين المواطن ما يتمرد. في بعض الجنوبيين بيتمردوا بس
Hello? Hello?
Hi, Tim.
Chila lek buguna telephone de tui lana chi be jam tak de telephone ene mishila. Taban
Tim, go video ben yok.
yen kubra loy wati yen abuk lakin bi ase for tomorrow daytime yen abu piat asa mantin odian chi gijit yen adik ba you back ba lakin yen kan pinda chidit ko buk ja loy miak around 7 or 8 p.m. then and between 7 and 8 p.m. Acan yen yo jala biji no wula biji like 1 to 2 agu yo ko bi message ping mantin 21 people ko chi gijit calls.
Ai ban ken jamla ka yoko ko chan pin kren ai lo
Pinachila, yes. Pinachila, no, yanda aka
baden tonight.
Aka lekin uben daytime betana mi kwa biya tonight in.
Awe ko jing ko dang dai junubin. Yoke ene kamanda nen lu ko connect era an ka tong te lo na dam ka to chanam kene ku bu te jam ba pingro in ka yu banya biela ten ni ci to ko
hello, I should dog Wilson le baje like I
Hello.
Azuma, brother Ton te pingin Ton Ben. Hello. Hello.
Ana sama ga duki ngai.
Ai kubra lo yikene penya wuga chidit ba de na chukting kwa da chiga jwet kwa jwet chik touch ku yin time book pol tomorrow ten dun na badil piat ke we ko
wako te den baden
wako dun sa saba ba de no sa ta menye kwa biya nahar de wo ten yena bo yi nyoko yuptani chana go ko bi jok be message du bila ke clear ko kille ba lakin kaman baralu na zamum nyaka wore talaba wan chak loyru nuan ji ya talaba jidid kan baga dil kwen bi la sebre loko don chaw ke gatin ba yene kan ko bug lakin pinya jidid wo bi yok nyak tendun ya na sa saba tende de week saba le tamenia, let's say it this way.
let's say wako te den na ya wade wore ka talk you no de ka un ko be ben charaw ko bi ke lu le chan to save time book ko
kitemo no
ata ping
kan ni temple wala biya
but
short days ana mas yana gore.
Okay.
I you know because of time biya legi
kijira lo taban zaman da kilo kiya belel sa wahid belel tidan kana side nin got ko pe
ko dai
ko ja chek leak ko ja kek dai fi North America ko ja ko to fi Juba abuk jebe dong ba den bugura sabat bugura sa ta mane belel fi Junub Sudan wala sa saba be misa belel don tuy yana bok ba nay be dok min jidit min buk jo chol ko bakon taga kuen baka jawon be kuen be min jidit ago shab da Junub Sudan ko jako mun Junub Sudan bi dil ping yang lewe fi shawara ko kawan ga chaklo talabo kawan tiga tany sanal fat de ga chiro loy ka chiro loy baka jaban be kuen shab e ke chwo be labi shawara at this time man tin ga kuen te yin buk pol in chuk le jar di de wan ma thank you very much ke chaloy ko wo kaje wek le ka ko ne ke shabab ko dit ka bay ina padang to bi ke ki wek
Junub Sudan ka je ke ga
yena pet kalas kois tamam yena pet bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to summarize the most important point that he actually was speaking in Arabic. I think most of the viewers may have listened, and if you don't know Arabic very well, what they have stated there, they say that they are just demanding for the basic services. That's what took them to the street. The other thing that they are not against the government is he said that we have defended this oil in 2013 crisis. We have our fathers, actually, fathers, uncle, that also contributed to the liberation of South Sudan, and they did not go to the street to turn the back against the government, but they are just demanding the services that to be given to them. That's why they are in the street this morning in Meluth, and I think this is what people of South Sudan want to understand. That the protest did not just start overnight or a few days ago. There's history that they actually went to the street demanding for the services. And if you happen to visit Meluth or Upper Nile State, you will actually stand with them. You will stand with the people of Meluth for demanding the services that they want. They want the hospital. They want roads. They want a school. They want better environment. These are the things that they can ask, at least, from the government of South Sudan. And the other thing that they have brought up is that we have seen the development starting, especially the construction of the Juba Barkazar Road, Juba Bo Road, that is actually taking place in the tarmac, and there's no development in the oil producing area. There's also a Juba Yei Road that was actually constructed. These are what brought them to the street, and people of South Sudan should understand them that the oil has been actually produced in this area, and there's nothing show that these are oil producing area. The issue of 3%, you actually talk about 3%, that is not being used to the benefit of the people of Meluth or to the benefit of the people of producing oil areas. 3% that is actually given to them based on the the oil, what they call is it division of the oil
Percentage, you mean?
Percentage based on those of Meluth and the other area that producing oil. So these are the basics that took them to the street, and that's why we are saying let the opposition not divert this peaceful demonstration to advance their call for the regime change. They are not for the regime change. They are not against the government of President Kiir, but they are just calling for the government to actually listen to them. And we will actually bring him back tomorrow, which is tomorrow morning in Juba time, so that he will come and actually alter more.
Tomorrow morning, no, tomorrow evening, Juba
tomorrow
time.
Evening in Juba time, and it's almost morning here in our time. So Ben Wilson, ja brother Billy Look, kachikalwel kakage, na koga pipiat mitken, koga shawara, biga yik panden, koga pana kim, biga yik kageben, ekawana kage motonin ke kitina kuma. Lana taban kene ka yik ma development ben ma ene just kene ne development ben bitin. Na President Kiir which the kene chal siyasa de le your oil for development, then oil for development le bro jog panon ta oil tin. Chi rila jog bot ko pe mu bro jog pan ta oil tin go de pana kim yik. Na de 10 bar mil man gala 30 bar mil gam fi shar le construction of the road. Why don't he add another 10? Could be panakim the Meluth be yik, could be honoga be yik, could be shawara Meluth be yik, so that at least they can feel ya jamana. Yes, jadata panda kwa de be more than big yok. Be there good apartment bugle construct man kana and kana chilwell and one mas ben for chuk leja radi apia deno damanda chila ben wilson wal ja will look na de bagja martin and the cojeten which late.
I don't think the Gubung Martin time that will be the look at it. Yeah, two something will be looking to him Yakmush.
Hallelujah.
Oh, okay. Fayin will call it and unmute yourself. I think we all heard him, or we hear him, and then tomorrow we will bring him back. There are a lot of things to be said, but not tonight because it's too late. We know in South Sudan when the new ministers are brought in, they have to be given the so-called B8 and all these things. And where this money come from? Money of getting B8, they coming from that they abandoned it. In a state of give more on their own road, and then the oil pollution is the problem. That is a bigger problem. If they can do that and no service, it will be better because people will be in a good health. But now people are dying. We will talk tomorrow more. We will talk more tomorrow because time is against us right now. We gotta go to bed, and we'll stop here. Billy, look, I think we will done.
Ye na di ka pai ok bu ko ban biel njale kun jale ban Wilton ko ta kale je wa ko dai create carbon na chu lo samra te man sai chi ban biel chen queen ka to bu ko community di jing padang wo ka demoralize we can eat because of total ko lo ro community day na le ro ge ga bu be lo ai the weekend ti chi each and every family ti chen ba ko ti chen ke lo present ka bu ke joben chal bit ku bu jong ni jam tarik den kwa yen pada nga chol gop cho bana de ran nang di dan je be week ko lo won wala wana kol cha tingi je for the ten we family ke ran tui honorable je be nyin jala loy ki jazu kaman ba wo ye ba go pide kwa bu ben present kaman tok ko di kon ko wan ju wi ge lang ru we nge kwa kene ene message bi bale we jam da di de pay ku ken ko taw ko ci gob ata bani na ret wo ke be daj ben live regularly because of total taw community wa yen ko bale we jing pada nga ke dial ngi jinu media ci le bi ko den total ko ko ngi ro ela de media ben bi ko lo abit total ci ro loy ku la p2 kena wi bang yi wa ya ka man dia ko pio finally we ko Meluth ela de bangi jinu wo ko padang to bi ku padang to jinu Sudan to pin na ben to tin ku jinu bin akaki we kena wi bangi wa ye real ke pio ku don ko bab ka luel ki luoi ki kene a che ku dunu ge pa ke ka dawo de ben da nga ba Martin ke challenge le we ko ku in particular because ang ye padang na to pa na ban ene che chin mat ku yena lo yi kene chin man wan chi de wan ma chen luel wan show wan tu lo ma tek that nu ke padang bana da to te ne protezi lakin yin ki ya padang to biei win padang to ruwing engenen chaw ke ya lo chanam kene che to fo ya pal ka Meluth to e kene ke ko Meluth de ya pyo we ke chet kine lu we ko win ke ga affected there especially ruwing area so we pia ba protezi kene you have to do the same thing le ba ga lo fari yang ten kan bi junu Sudan bi ngi junu kene che kre a che ko ne lo lang ko Meluth ke fa we chakale oboro yek daman ko ko jiten ko chakale banya biel ko banya Wilson so wore ga tawki imanu tay ci kamandanun chen ke kwen bi wore ka tawki wo abuka queen ku kawan prompted wan ga lo lazi abuka queen in detail lakin ke bi yok tonight ke bi hukuma bi ngijinu yen padang dan lo protest kene achina lakat ke opposition achina lakat ke rebel ku kachin ka wunji lo attach to it kada ke theory ke na ko ina lui de men ku bangi wak ginubin yi chukane achi ko blo politicize lakin wo chukale ke chagrol ko chage lebi lakin don ge jot taw siede kada che siede ku kachen nyodo no wo part of the opposition or ku rebel o kaju hukuma lakin hukuma must do this ke lui ku de men ko jeng pada wecha kale chokra
yana pia da ka Martin taban o wudil da ben bukra be sura lan wude ka bugal lo bukra ci manen kan oil kan ku jayen tribute to our late brother wona en mabeng lang bukra lo bukra so yimudi luimya ganin bi look but will go live heli man sawan ulo ter ci wok zaman yok ko bukra
ci mi ci la ba ka yok tin
buk tribute buk de loy ka je kin to en kuran tin jale ko le long na khartum taban kana dina piaw wa chalwe le na padanga mana toje kura there's a lot of things that are going on pira ko gala twen lakin family ko bok ban muk piot ko bok kira loy bok del nyot junub Sudan man wan chan ran chan ma bek taban ko chen ko min tahrir guti wan min bi junub Sudan ben bi ke dola na chak ben be to wan ga chi tawon duty lakin ai lon da ji tol nyot ko ke yen ran bi ke de loy chamol member betaw bok lo recognize ai dang apiet te ma on ko chi lol juba ten acha tinga bla shoy nan bi na top yang ke piet it had to be honor state burial loy panden man ka jwan ke chi ler tonwan chen to man chi tonwan kon ran chi jaral ma yi kon en week bang ya the same thing like this so kage ban
kuja madam de chol
madam jaral la kage ban ge wo go piet diaw
why is a trending case
so
Sudan ban ikulu yi
yen tamen da chilo na the music al bag your town and then we'll say goodbye to the viewers of Jenko Media.
I can music daman kila.
Music book town anyway. It's okay, but then yes, it's for the Jing for the Angato ko which you can it's for the analysis about your bello. Like in a weekend can be a very busy at it. Ko pure met like in unfortunately. Toto Tauki, who ye na quite ban Wilson de ran and the Chin Jal can quite Iran Maluth or ran.
Era na Meluth era ne MP ai chola weren wala we.
So
Era na maruf so.
Yeah,
there are a lot for Juba today. Praising.
Ma Mikel lagi kan ke chu kai tin man ka taban ka media re ka go gobi ku family bia ka kin peng wood bia fa yin ke ne wo char yo bu confirm the family ku bi tok jala bi but yin ne ran kan era na maruf MP bita state of Afrinal representing Meluth ke MP bita state so ko pastor dang fi kanisa so yin ran de nam shabi ret ran video ret ba kaga buga jabbe kori myak ti family ti ko won ci lwele ti family den iran ko ci media contact then we can have a free to talk about it more
enka adiga ye chokron na kai kon gi sport bro dio ba jazu to chokri gi kene choken clear ti kai kon di to ka ke kri sport bu bay forward ko ba analysis di go ko bu loy to yen chokron don go yobno na de ke no chuke palway bu ke gi kapre tu kwa yen chokron
na
le ban biel ku ban wilton ko ko ju ya
Okay.
we lock out yen ban biel ne today ba jotem
Yen tema item